going?
Okay, I got Alabama going, but I think it's going to be Arizona who plays them, and I think Utah State's going to knock off Missouri. Utah State's favored by 1 to 1.5 for a reason. Here's
okay,
why.
right off the bat. Yeah.
Missouri with the pressure, they need takeaways. Utah State's backcourt, they don't turn the ball over and they hit threes. I've watched them too many times late at night. They are really good. It's a bad matchup. Don't fall for the trap. Missouri's a great story. They deserve the 7th seed, but sometimes it's all about matchups. I think Baylor can win a game or two, but I think NC State's going to knock off Creighton in the first game. That backcourt is scary good. They shoot from the parking lot. If they're hitting, this is a game I'm not going to bet before the game. I'm going to watch the first 4 or 5 minutes. You know real quick usually if NC State comes to play. They come to play, they'll win the game by 5 to 8 points. They lose, they'll lose by 20 and not show up. And Alabama, they got a nice couple games to be able to be played in Birmingham. Don't have to go too far to Louisville. I like Alabama. So my Final Four, Alabama plays Duke, and Alabama wins. And then we've got Texas and UConn. Texas wins. They're not football schools anymore. Alabama and Texas play for the title, and the Texas Longhorns, without their coach, with just an interim coach still, he's still been not named the head coach, win the national title. Colt McCoy doesn't get hurt in the first series.
Do they give Colt McCoy should do the toss to start the game?
I still talk to Texas friends, and they're like, we would have won that game if Colt McCoy.
Oh, they're so full of crap.
Like, come on.
You get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, Bo, before I let you go, give us Auburn, Iowa. That's a 9-8 game. I like Auburn in that game a little bit, but not enough to move before. They had that freshman.
I'm probably not playing it for my clients, but
how about the freshman opting out? The Auburn star freshman opted out of the tournament to get ready for the NBA draft. What the hell is he talking about? I mean, this is a tournament.
I don't get it. These kids some days, I don't know who's consulting them, but anyone wants to come on board. So I don't know if I can remember our service being this hot. For instance, yesterday we went 5-0. We've won 33 of the last 39 days. 33 out of 39 days, and some of these Saturdays and Sundays have been incredible. Normally, the tournament we charge $397, $197. You're going to get all our NIT games, March Madness games. Got 2 play-in games today, playing both of them. Total 4 games released tonight. You're going to get the star ratings from 10 to 50 units. We're going to text them to you daily, weekdays by no later than 2 o'clock. When there's late games like today, tomorrow, early tournament day, by 10:30 in the morning. I'm also going to include my top NBA play of the day, top hockey play, top XFL play, where we're 7-2 already. Wow. We've won all 4 weeks, and my top UFC selection each week, $197 through the final Monday, April 3rd. Works out to a little more than $1 a selection. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Tremendous stuff. Good luck with it. Always a pleasure, Lee. I appreciate you, and we'll chat again.
Sounds good. See you, buddy.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll get a break, and we'll come back. First time we're going to get the phone lines open up. I have a Final Four-fecta. So now you have heard Lee Sterling, okay? He's got Texas, he's got UConn, he's got the Alabama, and he's got the Duke, all right? That's his Final Four. You had Texas over Alabama. But that's his Final Four. So I'm looking for your Final Fours. Go ahead and light them up. 256-5764-97.7. We'll do it next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your Your shingles, we can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
With over 100 F-150s to choose from and available financing as low as 0%, now is the perfect time to put one in your driveway. It's Truck Month at Woody Anderson Ford. Hi, Bobby White back again, inviting you to come on in for the best selection of F-150s we've had in a while. And if you find one that you like, there is no payment for 90 days. Also, during Truck Month, not only do you get 0% financing for up to 36 months, but we've also got 2.9% financing for 5 years on remaining 22 models with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends April 4th. And don't forget, we make it really easy for you to trade in and trade up on a Ford Blue Advantage Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned vehicle. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and you take it home with a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Hurry on in for Truck Month. 0% financing, no payments for 90 days, and over 100 F-150s to choose from.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions? Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. By mid-March standards, it's going to be another chilly day across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine, though. That'll be nice. Temperatures, though, only climbing into the mid-50s. Dropping into the mid-upper 30s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Not going to be a terrible morning, but you're definitely going to need a jacket. Looks like we'll be talking about more cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. Temperatures, though, actually back into the low and mid-60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talent Heating and Air plus 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bracket Challenge is coming.
You're going to have to explain that.
Head to 97.7ESPN.com and sign up your team today.
I followed your instructions implicitly.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thought we decided to get rid of this one.
No, you were cool with this one.
Oh, was I? Okay. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, and the service department at Woody Anderson Ford is absolutely second to none. They're incredible, the job that they do down there at Woody Anderson Ford. And, you know, there's a reason why Bobby White meets with the service team every morning. I mean, because that's where it starts. It starts at service there at Woody Anderson Ford. They know they got a great product. I mean, it's incredible. And check out the F-150s that are down there. The inventory is building up like crazy. And, of course, the certified gold pre-owned vehicles as well. There's 2 of them that sit in my driveway. You can do the same at Woody Anderson Ford. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and learn more. Make it a service appointment today. All right. Phone lines are open now, 256-576-4977. To recap, we have got for you your final four-fecta. You give me your final 4. I don't need to know who's going to beat who. Just save that for next week. Right now, I want your final 4 on the eve of this tournament. And don't tell me the tournament started yesterday. Give me your final 4. And if you get the final 4 right, we are going to hook you up. We got about $100 worth of food for you. And we've got golf for 2 at Cherokee Ridge. And we start this off with the Philip. Philip, welcome in. How are you?
Fair to miss. Can't complain. Don't do no good if I do.
There you go.
Hey, did you get them Facebook photos of those massive largemouth bass I caught the other day?
You know what? I didn't. Let's see. I saw that I saw a notification. I'm opening up my Facebook right now. Did you tag me in there? I don't see him. Yeah, it's not on my Facebook page.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the only thing that's on there is me doing a commercial with the 3 legends, and then you follow. I don't see anything.
Quick story.
Yeah.
I'm catfishing with night crawlers on the bottom. I catch an 8.4 and a 9.2.
Catfish, not bass.
No.
Get the hell out of here. You caught a 9-pound.
Dead freaking serious. I will resend you the pictures.
Send me the pictures.
Fish.
Oh, my gosh. That's ridiculous. And where were you in? The Chesapeake Bay? Where were you fishing?
No. I'm fishing a quarter mile from my house in the Intercoastal Waterway.
Wow.
Where I got there. It's kind of like a private spot. But literally, I've got like 4 or 5 lines out all the time. And I got bells on my poles. I'm chillaxing, man. I am totally chillaxing when I'm catfishing.
That's old school right there.
And the first time, the bell went ding, and then a line went limp.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? That's kind of weird. And so I got up, and holy Moses, and I'm fighting this thing, and it's like 40 feet out. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I get it in. I throw right back out there, and I swear to little baby Jesus, within 5 minutes, the exact same thing happened.
I see him now. I see him now. I saw him in the notifications. I see him now. See, I'd seen the Joe Montana in the catch with the Vin Scully on the call, and I saw that, and then I saw Michael Irvin, and then I see the pictures of the bass. Yeah, those are 2 pretty nice bass. They get you paid right there.
I ain't never in my life caught bass that friggin' big, and I was just catfishing.
Yeah.
And here's what's extra funny. So these dudes come up. There's not a whole lot of bass fishermen on the Intercoastal where I'm at, but these 2 dudes roll up, and one of them lives here now. The other one lives in Florida, but they're both from New York. I mean, you can tell they're from New York. And they pull up and they said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And about that time, I got these fish on a stringer because a buddy of mine's got a pond, and I'm giving them to him to put them in his pond.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want them. I'm looking for catfish. And they go, they're splashing in the water like, "Hey, what's happening over there?" I said, "Oh, those are mine. Can we see them?" And I showed them. They freaked out.
That's incredible.
And I thought about you, and that's why I sent you those pictures.
So you weighed them? There was an 8-pounder and a 9-pounder?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Incredible.
My buddy that is going to put them in his pond, he brought out scales, and that's what they weighed out at.
Wow.
They were massive.
Good stuff. All right, do you want to give me a Final Four team or what? Or Final Four set? All right, give me your Final Four.
Yes. So stop me if I'm doing this incorrectly because I'm still trying to figure out your whole thing there. I'm still trying to get on that. So I might be a little bit. Okay. I'm calling for Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Calling for Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Texas Tech. Is Texas Tech in the tournament?
I don't know.
Texas. I know
don't
they're not.
Stop me if I'm lying.
Texas Tech is not in the tournament. Texas A&M, Texas A&M, Texas
A&M.
Oh, A&M. Okay.
He meant A&M Corpus Christi.
Not A&M Corpus Christi. No, that's a different one. Not Krispy Kreme Corpus. Yeah. All right, give me another one.
Oral Roberts.
Okay.
Is that a possibility?
Long shot.
Yeah, they're in the tournament. yeah, that's a possibility. They're a 12 seed, to the Final Four.
How do you not like Oral Roberts, dude? All the time. They're bringing it.
You just like
you remember when, what is that little college, that tiny little college in downtown Nashville that came so freaking close to beating Duke years ago? Do you remember? Who was that?
That's not as tiny college. Oh my God! Now it just jumped out of my head. Rick Byrd was the coach there, Chris.
Yeah.
Rick. Okay, I can't believe it. Just Belmont.
Sorry.
Yeah, Belmont. Yeah, it was Belmont that almost beat him.
You remember
Belmont's,
that was so
I do.
awesome.
I remember it. Yeah. Now I remember it. I couldn't even remember it at school. All right, give me one more.
What's my options? Give me options. I'm
sorry. See, you already took that. You took Oral Roberts there. You took Texas Tech. All right, your options are Kansas, UConn, Gonzaga, UCLA, somebody from out west.
Gonzaga.
Arkansas.
Gonzaga.
All right, we got you in, man. Big basketball fan there, Philip is. All right, man, appreciate you.
They're gonna do this knee surgery, and then I'm going golfing at this place you're talking about.
I'll tell you what, you'll love it. Cherokee Ridge is just ridiculous. All right, appreciate you. Good job at you. Let me get Wolverine Dan. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
He doesn't need knee surgery. Give him a lobotomy for crying out loud. It took forever. I'll make it real easy for you, okay?
Yes,
Texas,
give it to me.
Alabama, Duke, and UCLA. That's how
Texas,
you do it, Philip.
Texas, Bama, Duke, and UCLA.
I mean, this dude that you had before, Philip, him and I were in sync, baby. You know?
That's not a bad deal. The only thing I'd be scared of UCLA because of the injuries. They lost their best guy. That's the only thing I'd be a little scared of.
Oh, really? Well, I did not know that, but it's too late.
They got an injury. Yeah, no, you're in now. That's it.
That's fine. I'll go with that still. You never know.
All right, we got you.
But that was easy. Hey, listen, dude, to be honest with you, I forgot to tell you, I finished the outdoor piece of furniture for my barbecue area.
Yeah?
Because I had to find a place to lay my meat.
You always got to have a place to put the meat.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Tom. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about.
Nothing worse if you can't find a place to put your meat.
Yeah, you got to have a place to set the meat, you know.
That's right. All right. How do you like yours?
Right.
Medium rare, baby?
No, mine's well done. I'm older. I'm old.
You're well done. Okay. Hey, Stan said roll tide.
All right. Roll Tide.
Yeah, see you.
All right, bye.
I don't know UCLA is one of their players.
But you're still talking. All right. Grizz, what do you want me to do? Can I take this call or do I need to take a break? You sure? Okay. Hunter is up next. Hunter, welcome to the show. How are you?
How's it going, Tom?
It's good. Do you want to talk about barbecue or bass fishing, or would you just like to get your picks in on this deal?
Well, how about this? How about I just give you my picks, and we'll drink a beer later after the break.
There you go. That's a good idea. All right, who do you like in the Final Four?
All right, giving the boys down south, the Murderers, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I'll call them the Murderers. That's not nice.
All right, now we're going to go up north just a little bit. Give me that blue team, kind of like the Blue Guys, the Kentucky Wildcats.
Really? Okay, first one to get in on Kentucky. All right, got them. By the way, they would play in the Final Four. If it was Bama and Kentucky, they would play in the Final Four. Yeah, next.
And so now we're going to go on out to the west, to the White Beaters. Give me the Texas Longhorns.
Texas. He's at Ole Miss now, and I think the Chargers were all dropped. So.
Hey, he's a free man.
Yeah.
But we all saw the video.
Yep. What do you got in the Midwest?
Oh, in the Midwest, I guess.
Or the West.
And the Kansas Jayhawks.
Kansas. Yeah, Texas is the Midwest. Kansas is out west. All right, we got you in, man.
All righty. Thank you, boss, man. You have a good one. I'll probably call back
Hunter.
later and chit-chat with you.
All right, appreciate you. Hunter getting in. I didn't know where to go with that. To be honest with you, I never even know where to go with that.
I mean, it's messed up because it's just like about as messed up as the two. I don't know if you saw the two fans that were wearing those shirts.
Well, I wouldn't even want to call them.
I know
fans.
they weren't fans. They were probably
two
Tennessee
a-holes
fans.
is what they were. They were two a-holes. and then that Joe Goodman's got to write an article about it. Like that represents the whole fan base. You know what I mean? It's like a couple of idiots did a couple of stupid idiot things, and that's the whole fan base. Goodman is just out of control. By the way, text window. Are we taking it right to the break? What are we doing, Chris? You want me to break? I'll break.
Yeah, we still have another minute. If you want to get another call in.
All right, well, all I see is Hunter. I don't see anybody after Hunter. So you have to tell me or put it on the board. Okay. Richard's up next. Richard, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine.
Do you want to get in on this?
Absolutely.
All right, give me your final four.
Okay, real quick. In the East, give me Providence.
Ooh.
In the West, give me Kansas. In the Midwest, give me Xavier. And, of course, in the South, you got to go with the Tide.
Go with the Tide. All right, we got you in.
Thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate it. So we got a Xavier holler. We got a Providence holler. Do we even mention, I don't even think we're going to mention Phillips picks, right? I mean, we don't mention like Oral Roberts and Texas A&M is not going to the Final Four. I don't think we mentioned those. All right, coming up, by the way, at the top of the hour, Tom Luganville is going to join us. We're going to do some college football talk and some football talk with Tom Luganville, who saw Houston in the XFL this past week. So he's now seen what I think are the two best teams in the XFL, Houston and D.C. So we'll get his thoughts about that. Some interesting things going on with the TV ratings there as well. I want to get Luke's take on that. And we'll get into some college football thoughts with him, because it looks like Florida State and Clemson are trying to grease the skids to get the hell out of the ACC. Problem is, it's going to cost them $100 million. That might be a sticking point. Not sure. All right, Luke's is next. Then we're wide open on the lines all the rest of the show for you to get in on your Final Four Factor. It's the Tom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in from ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Eagles plan to release five-time Pro Bowl cornerback Darius Slay. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler's reporting the Panthers agreed to a 3-year contract with Bengals free agent tight end Hayden Hurst. During the postseason, Hurst was a vital part of Cincinnati's offense. We might have a little more clarity on the Aaron Rodgers Packers-Jets situation today. Rodgers is scheduled to be on the Pat McAfee Show at 1 Eastern, where he may provide an announcement on his plans for 2023. The prevailing thought is that the 39-year-old quarterback either asks Green Bay to trade him to New York or retire. A return to the Packers is unlikely. NBA, Lakers big man Anthony Davis, coming off a big performance in last night's win, will not play tonight against the Rockets, the second night of a back-to-back. LA is currently 10th in the Western Conference in the play-in tournament.
KZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. Be sure and download the app today. Just search for 97.7 ESPN and listen to my show every weekday right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Now open, this is your invitation to experience the grand opening of ABIQ's new 10,000 square foot showroom. The best brands in home audio, home theater, and home automation. The place to see and hear and feel and listen and watch. The place where you can audition top brand audio and video equipment before it goes in your home. World-class brands now available in Huntsville. Come experience the difference. 1833 University Drive, just east of the Parkway at the all-new AVIQHSV.com.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show, Woody Anderson Ford brings you. They've been bringing us Thom Luganbill for years now, and they do a tremendous job with that. By the way, you heard that Sports Center at the top of the hour talking about Aaron Rodgers and what intentions he may or may not have and regarding playing. Since that Sports Center was recorded, Aaron Rodgers has now said that he intends to play for the New York Jets if they can get the trade done. He says he does not intend to play anymore for the Green Bay Packers, and so now it's a matter of just getting the trade done between the Packers and the Jets. Rodgers says he wants to play for the Jets. He says he still has the fire to play, and, you know, this is 2008 all over again, right? This is Brett Favre going to the Jets, and I just say I know what happened with Tom Brady. That is extremely rare. This guy's 39 years old, did not look great last year, and I don't think that, this makes the Jets a Super Bowl contender, in my opinion. See what Thom Luganbill thinks about that. He joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Lugs, welcome in. How are you?
Good afternoon, man. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You know, you and I are old enough. We've been around where we have seen quarterbacks change teams late in their career, 39 years old, and it looks ugly, and it's sad, and we wish we didn't see it, and all that other kind of stuff. Tom Brady, you know, but he had won 6 Super Bowls, and he's the anomaly. He went, of course, won the Super Bowl in his first year with Tampa Bay. I just don't have a good feeling about this, and this is going to be one of those ones that it's not going to look right. He's not going to be wearing number 12 because that's Joe Namath's number in New York, and it's going to just I don't see how this ends well. And it can end up hurting an organization for 3-4 years down the road.
Well, what I find interesting about it is all of the terms that he's dictating personnel-wise to the organization. You know, this is who we'd like to get. This is who I'd like to play for. This is who I think would make us better, so on and so forth. So it sounds like he's trying to set them up to play championship football. It sounds like, and I know this is strange with him, because I think there's a bit of a negative stigma surrounding him. But it sounds like this is a move to where he's trying to really win. So I think they've got a pretty good defense. They've got a young receiver in Garrett Wilson. You've got the running back in Breece Hall. There are pieces in place there where if you make a dent in free agency, aside from Aaron Rodgers, maybe you put together a pretty darn good roster. And despite his age, Tom, I think the one thing that makes him a bit unique is for the majority of his career, not his entire career, but for the majority of his career, he's been able to stay healthy. He's been durable. Yeah. You can count on him. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think the vitriol that surrounds him from the media has to do with his politics, and I just discount that. It has to do with his conservative views on a lot of stuff, and that's just that he was anti-vax and all that. But it'll be interesting to see. It just doesn't feel like the Jets would be in any better position than he would be if he were with the Packers to continue, to win. He's going to go to the Jets and win. Although I do
I think
Robert Saleh.
I think sometimes though, Tom, too, things just run their course, right? I mean, you get to a point where maybe it's just time.
Yeah. What does this say? What was your take on Zach Wilson coming out? Did you think it was a reach? And because he looked great in college, and it's like he's crashing and burning. I mean, this is 2 years in, and it's just blowing him off.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I had him 3 times. Once during COVID, 2 other times. Saw him in person a lot, and I loved him. I thought he was really, really, really good, and it's unfortunate because I'm a firm believer in this in professional football, or really football in general overall. Is right place, right time is a big deal, man. Don't ever diminish how important that is when it comes to where you're going, who you're aligned with, who the people are that are around you. It makes a big difference, and maybe it's just not the right fit. And then on top of it, he completely doomed himself at the post-game press conference this year. That's not something, in my opinion, you come back from.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It just seems immature. I mean, there's just so much immaturity there with him, and that seems to be a big problem with it. You got to see the Houston Roughnecks this week against Orlando, and they just hammered them. But now you've seen Houston, now you've seen DC a couple of times. Who's the best team in the XFL as we approach the halfway mark this week?
I think I would give a slight nod to Houston because I think they have the best overall players. They're the fastest team in the league. They did a really good job with their draft process of identifying exactly who they were going to be on defense, who they were going to be on offense, and then the type of player to fit that. They really meshed well from a personnel perspective and marrying that with their scheme and who they wanted to be. The reason why I say it's just close, though, is because, and I think I've said this to you before with DC, they can play like a college team on offense in the sense that you have to be prepared to defend quarterback run, which is so hard to do. And in professional football, that's not something that is regularly had to have been dealt with week in and week out. I mean, you may face a Lamar Jackson, at the NFL level, and you may, have an athletic quarterback, but those guys aren't going to risk, a $60 million quarterback running, zone read and quarterback power and quarterback counter. It's just not worth it. You can't do it. So rarely do you have to prepare to defend it. That's not the case in the XFL. And with what DC has done and how they've built their team, and it's interesting because they built it in preparation of injury. So if you look at the 3 quarterbacks on their roster, if Jordan Ta'amu gets hurt, they don't change. They go to Derek King. If Derek King gets hurt, they don't change. They go to Eric Dungy. All 3 of those guys are athletic running style quarterbacks. So if something bad happens, it doesn't alter how they move the football. It just changes the guy that's pulling the trigger. And it just makes them really difficult to defend because, as I said, in professional football, you just don't have to do that.
Right. Thom Luginbill with us here. He was on the XFL game between Houston and Orlando over the weekend. I am down with most of the rules. We've talked about this a lot. I like a lot of rule changes. I don't like the double pass. I'm not.
Why?
I don't like the double forward pass because I want to know. You know what I mean? I'm a defensive guy, and if you throw that ball forward, I don't want to be worried about what's going on behind me. I want to come up and smack that guy, and that double forward pass bothers me a little bit. What's your thought?
I actually like it just because I think it's a different wrinkle, and I think offensively it's not an easy play to conceive because you have to figure out, like what Houston did the other night I thought was brilliant, because let's just say you throw the forward pass behind the line of scrimmage on a swing route. All right, well, that's kind of been done before, right? You just got to make sure you're throwing it parallel or behind, and you can still throw it forward. But if you throw it on a swing route, to the defense, it may look very, very similar. But what Houston did is they brought a receiver after the ball was snapped across on a drag route, and then he worked himself back across the line of scrimmage to his side of the ball, and this was after he caught the ball. So he ran straight across the field, caught the ball, ran back into his own backfield, turned around, and threw it. And that's what got the defense in a bind. So It was the way they did it that created the issue. And to me, it's a little similar to the old NFL rule where when you threw a screen, you couldn't have linemen downfield. And so it was easy to see when a screen, not easy to see, but less difficult to identify a screen in the NFL than it was in college football, because all the linemen still had to be back behind the line of scrimmage. And it's kind of that similar style of an adjustment to me.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We saw the story. We have seen the story that the XFL has moved, or ESPN has moved a few games off of FX over to ESPN. Now, let's be honest, the numbers were down on FX. The numbers on the games that have been on FX are down. A lot of people are still confused as to what that FX used to be a Fox property, and now it's an ABC ESPN property. I like that they're moving some of those games to ESPN. It just, the numbers on ESPN have been very strong. On FX, not so much, and I think a lot of that's just familiarity with the sports network, right? And they're doing the right thing, moving these games to ESPN if they can.
Yeah, I think that there's some validity to that. I would counter that, like, for example, our game between DC and St. Louis, which was on FX, was the highest graded game of the week that weekend, and are still outrating the NHL. They outrated the NFL draft, outrated some of the NBA. And I think a lot of the programming decisions are more about viewing windows where, they're not obligated to air, an event or a sport from another league that, let's just say, ESPN has the right to do, if you will. So I think it's more about that than anything else.
Yeah, I think it will help. And of course, you got the competition of the tournament, the NCAA tournament this week, and that's just going to be there. You can't have it in a vacuum. Yeah, no doubt about it. Thom Luginbill with us. All right, big trouble brewing in the ACC. We've been following this story for the last week or so with Florida State and Clemson are not happy. There it is. They're not happy. They feel like they drive the bus over there, and it almost seems like they're starting to stir up stuff enough to the point where, greasing the skids to get out. The problem is there's this massive contract that they would have. It's like $500 million for each team to get out. They would be giving the money they would be getting from the SEC or the Big Ten would go to the ACC for 10 more years or some crazy amount of time. Yeah. It's nuts, but man, it's really interesting to see how the ACC is almost kind of splitting to the point where they're saying, look, if we're staying, we need a bigger piece of the pie, because without us, and then maybe Miami, without the three of us, you got a mid-major. You got what the Big 12 is going to look like in a couple of years.
Yeah, I think what we're starting to see is everybody's about self-preservation, right? Everything's about survival. And as we've always talked about multiple times, not all programs are created equal. But a program like Florida State, but even more so like a Clemson, and more so than Miami, although Miami's private and could be doing much more, and I think will continue to do more. But Clemson in particular, they view themselves as an SEC program. And they can compete on that stage. I mean, they've shown the investment. They've done it. They've beaten them. They've consistently been there. and they're looking at the overall landscape, whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and wondering, what is this thing going to go to, and who do we hitch our wagon towards? Because at some point or another, there are going to be teams that are currently Power 5 teams, that whether it's name, image, and likeness, whether it's the transfer portal, whether it's television contracts, whatever it is, they're not going to afford or be able to afford to keep up with the Joneses. And a team like Clemson's capable of doing that. And I think they're trying to navigate and find ways to ensure that they are thriving and that they are a part of the overall big picture.
Yeah, it's a great point because already, when you start looking at schedule models and so on, it starts feeling real. That Oklahoma and Texas are SEC schools and that UCLA and USC are Big Ten schools. And, the Big Ten and the SEC are already kind of being referred to as the Big Two, or the Power Two. 16 teams each. So those 32 teams kind of looks like the NFL, and you wonder outside, how many more teams outside of the 10 in the SEC when they get those additional teams have the juice to really move the needle? It's probably Clemson, Florida State, maybe Oregon and Washington, and maybe Miami, and then Notre Dame, right? I mean, it does. Everybody else feels like, regional college football. I don't think there's any other national type names that would move the needle than those biggies I just mentioned.
Yeah, you could be right, and I think that the one thing I would say about Notre Dame is publicly the decision that they made to not allow Marcus Freeman to go out and get the guy he wanted as the offensive coordinator because they wouldn't buy a buyout. That if Alabama wanted to do it or LSU wanted to do it or Georgia wanted to do it, wouldn't even think twice, kind of tells you where Notre Dame is in all of this, right? I know they're Notre Dame. I know that they're a primetime player, but I think they've kind of made a decision that they're only going to go so far. And I think that, it's not good for college football, but I thought that sent a really, really bad message. I really did. I was not impressed with that move at all.
And then the other one is Miami. The Hurricanes, they've been in the ACC now almost 20 years. They've only played for the championship once. They got hammered by Clemson in that game, 38-3. We've talked about Nebraska and how the ship left Nebraska and how it looks like it's hard to figure a scenario where Nebraska can be Nebraska again. But Miami they're in Miami. This is warm weather. This is great players all over the state. They need a stadium situation to done there. But Miami fans are about as myopic as any out there, right? They still talk like they're a thing. But Miami really hasn't been a thing for 20 years. What's your take on why is it Miami like this? Why can't Miami compete anymore?
Well, number one, I think it kills them where they play their home games, right? You have no allegiance, you have no affiliation. It's a minimum, no traffic, 35-minute drive from Coral Gables up to Hard Rock Stadium, and it's a bad atmosphere. It's not a good atmosphere for recruiting. It's not a good atmosphere for home field advantage of official visit. They haven't done the job that they should have been doing, keeping up with the arms race because they relied solely on being Miami. All right, and SC fell into that trap a little bit. They've, as of late, have made a little bit more of an investment as it relates to that. But what's disappointing about Miami is they're a private school. All right, they can do everything they want to as it relates to admission standards. They can use private funding, not release it as to what it's being used for as it relates to athletic endowment and all of those sorts of things. And somehow, some way, and I don't know if it's possible, but there's got to be an area within 10 to 15 minutes of that campus. And I've been down there multiple times. I know it's congested, but you got to try and build yourself a 40,000-seat stadium somewhere on campus or somewhere right near campus that is yours and yours alone. Not too dissimilar to what we saw Louisville do when they first built Papa John's Stadium. It was 40,000 fans, modest but super nice, knew they could fill it out. Since then, it's expanded almost 20,000 as they've grown as a program. Miami doesn't have that. I think if Miami had that and had some type of attractive atmosphere on game day, it would change everything for them.
Yeah. It's still Vanderbilt Stadium, though. You know what I mean? It's like you think Miami, you just would think that they're out there playing. You know, they used to play in front of 80,000 at the Orange Bowl. I know it was a short window. It was a small window, and they had to win. But that's the way Miami sports fan is, right? I mean, they don't go to anything that's not winning. The only way, they don't go to Dolphin game. They don't go to Marlin game. They don't go to anything unless they're winning. If they're winning, they're great. If they're not, we're going to the beach.
No, there's a lot of validity to that. Oh, there's no question. And again, it's a lot like Atlanta. It's a lot like Los Angeles. There's a lot to do, right? And so it's one thing if you're at a place where it's not winning and it's something to do and it's an event and it's an all-day thing and it's not just about the game, but it's the pregame and the postgame and all those sorts of things. It's not a small college town, and it's a crowded landscape from an entertainment and from a sports perspective.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm when they had all that. You know, they won 5 national championships in the 20 years before they went to the ACC. But you're right; it's not a college town. That's for sure. It's not a college town atmosphere. They were basically Miami's pro team there for a while, where the Dolphins had kind of weren't winning as much, and Miami, the Hurricanes, became their. I don't know. I think they're Nebraska. I think that ship has sailed. I don't know. I don't see anything bright on the future there, and it could be a career killer for Mario Cristobal.
When saying that, though, Tom, the only difference is proximity to athletes. That's the one thing Nebraska does not have and never will have, and Miami does have.
Yeah, but it's just you wonder about where those athletes want to play. You know, whether they'll go there, and Florida State's starting to get it going again, and that could be a pipeline for them, and who knows what will happen at Florida. And now you got UCF in the Big 12, and a lot of competition for these players. All right, always appreciate you. Who do you have this week, and what network can we find you?
I got the best game of the week, man. I got the rematch, DC against St. Louis at St. Louis. At St. Louis. Now, we're on FX again, which I don't care. We got a great rating on FX last time I was on it. But, yeah, we're prime time. You know, St. Louis, as I'm sure you're aware, got 38,000.
38,000?
Yeah, and then they won. I bet you they get 45 minimum this week.
Well, I think they – so did they – so they made the decision to open up more. I mean, the 38 was as much as it was every seat that was available, because they don't open the upper deck there for the XFL. But they got to open. I bet if they open it up, they might get 45, 50,000. Who knows?
And again, keep winning, they'll come. You know what it's like? It's kind of funny. I know. You know, you guys got I think a minor league version of an MLS soccer team now in Huntsville.
Yeah.
And you know they've had obviously minor league hockey and everything. Everything in Huntsville that's come through there from a sports perspective that has won has been successful. If you win, they will show up and support you because it will be the thing to do.
That's a good point. There's no doubt. All right, Tom, I appreciate you. We'll be watching that one. I've been looking forward to that rematch. That's going to be a good one Saturday night. Appreciate you.
Me too, man. All right, buddy. See you.
All right. See you. It's a good job. Good job by him. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll come back. We have phone lines open the rest of the way. Grumpy, circle back if you want. I think Keith, the Michigan fan, LSU Lynch are hanging in there. And it's look, man, it's a Final Four Facta. And if you're just joining the show, the Final Four Facta is good for $100 worth of food at various restaurants. We put Bad Daddy's in there. We put Nick's in there. And Bubby's Diner in there. And then we're also throwing in golf for two at Cherokee Ridge, which is worth $130. So we'll get your picks in next. 256-576-4977 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other. I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's Babbel.com.
Now's the time to order your spiral cut honey glazed ham or turkey for Easter from Apple Lane in Decatur. Or maybe consider ordering the family meal deal for Easter. That includes an Apple Lane ham, a dozen rolls, sweet potato dumplings, potato salad, and Apple Lane's award-winning banana pudding. This week you can get your Apple Lane Easter goodness for half price with our zone deal. $50 worth for just $25. Get your zone deal now at 977ESPN.com. Apple Lane on the Beltline in Decatur. You may only use one coupon per purchase.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Who knows comfort? Well, comfort is our middle name. If your home isn't as comfortable as you want it to be, we can fix that. We service all makes and brands of heating and cooling systems, even if we didn't install them. So give us a call at Environmental Comfort Systems or visit our website at envcomfort.com. We are your independently owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Alabama license number 92314. Environmental Comfort Systems. That's envcomfort.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. By mid-March standards, it's going to be another chilly day across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine, though. That'll be nice. Temperatures, though, only climbing into the mid-50s. Dropping into the mid and upper 30s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Not going to be a terrible morning, but you're definitely going to need a jacket. Looks like we'll be talking about more cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. Temperatures, though, actually back into the low and mid-60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. You're listening to 97.7 ESPN The Zone, your home of ESPN Radio, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Atlanta Braves baseball, Huntsville Havoc hockey, and the UAH Chargers.
Segment of Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Valley Equipment Rental. You know, one of the coolest things about Valley Equipment Rental is if you have an issue and you want to get someone on it right away, not only are they right here in the Valley, you can call there and ask for Ross Roberts. He's the owner. And, you'll get him on the horn or he'll call you back. Try doing that at one of the big box national outlet rental places. That ain't going to happen. You're not going to get the owner. And that's if you can get through all the automation and everything else. You can buy local. You can buy the Valley with Valley Equipment Rental. They have 2 locations on North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com. That's valleyequipmentrents.com. Ray Dog hits the text window. He says, you're not going to devote the whole show to Aaron Rodgers like the rest of the talking heads? No. I mean, I said what I got to say about Aaron Rodgers.
This is stupid.
I don't think it's a great idea, a great move. I mean, I don't think it's going to work. Now, look, Matt Stafford left the Lions, went to the Rams, won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady left the Patriots, went to the Bucs, won the Super Bowl. You know, can something happen like that? They're going all in. I think they could be wrecking their franchise. I think in 3 years they can be looking for like Baker Mayfield to sign and be their quarterback, like the Bucs are. Bucs are a mess. Bucs are a 5-win team now. You're taking one hell of a risk, going all in on a 39-year-old quarterback, getting guys that he wants in there. A little dicey. All right, let's get to the lines. We start with Keith, the Michigan fan. Keith, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing all right, big dog.
So what's going on?
Let's get to the Final Four.
All right, give me your Final Four.
All right, I'm going with Kansas in the Western region.
All right.
The East region, I'm going with Marquette.
Marquette.
I've heard a lot about them, and I always like Marquette, actually. In the South region, what did I have? Arizona.
Just can't get yourself to do it, can you? Just can't get yourself to do it. You just can't get yourself to do it. You can't come correct and pick the team that's going to win the whole thing.
They're not going to win the whole thing. You know how many times people have said this team is going to win the whole thing and they get eliminated before the Sweet 16?
That would be bad. That would be bad.
Yeah.
All right, what about what's left, the Midwest?
West, yeah, it's a shocker, but the way this guy plays on Penn State, I mean, I've seen him hit 40 against Michigan. I mean, this kid can shoot. So I'm going with Penn State as my, Cinderella team.
Yeah, that would be a Cinderella. They're a 10 seed. That would be a Cinderella.
Yeah, they're a 10 seed.
Yeah.
But, that's why it's March Madness.
Yeah, it is the madness.
Yep, that's the madness. All right, Big Top.
Got you in. All right, LSU Lynch is up next. I know he's going to pick Bama to win the whole thing. LSU Lynch, what's going on?
Thank you so much for taking my phone call. Because, look here, I have been stressing my boy turns 16 next month. And look here, Tom, I have ordered an expensive hockey signed jersey.
Yeah.
That they said that they delivered to my front porch today that I had to go find. I mean, I had to go, call in, do a complaint.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Have you found it yet?
Oh, yes. I got it.
Okay. What jersey is it? Whose jersey is it?
It's going to be, I can't say his last. It's Predator Saros.
Oh, Saros. Yeah, UC Saros. The 74?
I'm redneck, Tom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's the goaltender for the Preds, UC Saros.
Oh, he was it. Yeah.
74. Yeah, number 74.
Yeah. So we got, son, I was stressing. But I'm going to tell you what. Thank you for taking my phone call. I know you got a bunch behind me. So I'm going to give you my top four.
All right, give me your final four.
It's going to be Leonard Skinner, Kiss, AC/DC, Molecule.
No Marshall Tucker band?
He hung up.
No Marshall Tucker band in there, Chris?
I didn't hear
my
it.
final four would be Skinnerd, Marshall Tucker band, Seeger. Oh, gosh, it would be hard. Because I like so many individual, like Chris Stapleton or Darius Rucker. I'd have to go in genres. Allman Brothers. I'd have to do it that way. Grumpy is up next. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Yeah, Molly Hatchet, Dreams I'll Never See. If you guys
Hatchet.
can play that for me one day, you will love it if you hadn't heard it in 20 years. And farmers don't use a thrasher; they use a thresher.
A thresher?
And,
is that what it is? I thought it was a thrasher.
Thrasher's a bird.
Yeah.
Thrasher is a bird, a thresher.
Now, that fish that Patrick caught, you asked him if he weighed it, and I could tell by the flexion of your voice that you weren't sure it was 9 pounds.
I got to be honest with you. I looked at both of them, and they look like 4.5 to me. I mean, I'm just saying they look like his hand.
Yeah.
I know what an 8 or 9 pounder looks like, and your elbow would fit in the mouth of an 8 or 9 pounder. It looked like his hand was taking up half the mouth. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just.
And you know, one of the biggest tricks I've seen now, I hire guys to take me bass fishing. 2 or 3 of them you suggested. It worked out great. Yeah. The smartest ones, guess what they don't bring?
Scale.
A scale. That way everyone catches a 9-pounder.
Yeah, that's right. Scale. My wife keeps trying to tell me that her dog. Yeah. My wife keeps telling me that her dog weighs 4.5 pounds, and I'm like, I don't think so, man. I've caught 4. I just caught a 4 3/4 at Eufaula in the tournament, and that 4 3/4 weighed a hell of a lot more than her Yorkie. And I'm like, I'm telling you, something's not right. Your dog does not weigh 4.5 pounds. That's just me.
Now, I saw a video of a guy that claims he caught a world record bass, weighed it on 3 separate scales, couldn't get the California Department of Fisheries to come out and weigh it because everybody was busy. They couldn't. Have you seen that video?
I have not, but all you have to do is take it to a grocery store where they got certified scales, and it doesn't have to be the wildlife people. If you weigh it on certified scales at a grocery store and it's a stamped scale,
I'm going to send you a video. Yeah. Do me a favor, just watch it. Tell me what you think. Okay, looking at some of these stats here, and I'll be real brief. Mark, or as Keith would say, in my Final Four, I'll take the quet. The fighting quet.
Marquette.
Yeah. Listen to this. Marquette shoots 49% from the floor. That's incredible. 35% from the three-point line. 72% free throws. 72% free throws. And they get over 9 steals a game. Man, that's hard to beat. So I'm going to go with Marquette, Alabama. I'm going to go with Gonzaga and Texas. And by the way, Gonzaga shoots 39% three-pointers. That's hard.
Yeah, they had some bad early season results, and that's why they kind of got off of everybody's radar, and then boom, there they are. I like Gonzaga to go a long ways too. And Marquette. I have Marquette. But I have Marquette getting beat in the Sweet 16.
And I want to go. I'm going to be in the Virginia area this fall. I want to go fishing with Patrick. I want you to give him my info if he'll let me go fishing with him. I want to go fishing with the Patrick.
Wouldn't it be the Patrick?
Yeah, the Patrick.
You guys, let me tell you something. Having knowing him and the remotes that he came to back in the day in Nashville, you two would get along. You two would actually get along. You really would get along. Yeah.
All right, man. All right, man.
Thank you. Let's get a quick break because when we come back, it's time for the highly sought-after bracket reveal for Dog and the Grizz. We'll do that next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
First 4 of the NCAA tournament continues today. It's Arizona State, a 2-point favorite over the Nevada Wolfpack. 134 the total at UD Arena. Texas Southern laying 2.5 against Fairleigh Dickinson. Yesterday, Texas A&M Corpus Christi won and covered as 3-point favorites, beating Southeast Missouri State 75-71. The Islanders 24-point dogs against Alabama Thursday in Birmingham. Pitt advances, beating Mississippi State 60-59. They're a 4-point dog against Iowa State in Greensboro Friday. In the NBA, the 76ers play for their 6th straight win, laying 2 at Cleveland. Celtics a 5-point road favorite at Minnesota. Mike Sennett from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Humphreys has a brand new team to take care of downtown Huntsville and a new menu to go with it. Check out Humphreys' new small plates like fried Brussels sprouts and fried green tomatoes, new street tacos, and the best pork chop in town. Not to mention shareable desserts made by our own pastry chef at the bottle. Best of all, Humphreys still has the best happy hour nightly drink specials and free live music. So get to downtown and get to Humphreys Bar and Grill, located online at humphreysdowntown.com.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. By mid-March standards, it's going to be another chilly day across North Alabama, southern and middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine, though. That'll be nice. Temperatures, though, only climbing into the mid-50s. Dropping into the mid-upper 30s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Not going to be a terrible morning, but you're definitely going to need a jacket. Looks like we'll be talking about more cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. Temperatures, though, actually back into the low and mid-60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talent, Heating, and Air plus 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bracket Challenge is coming.
You're going to have to explain that.
Head to 97.7ESPN.com and sign up your team today.
I followed your instructions implicitly.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Solid hatchet right there. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. North Alabama Mortgage for all your mortgage needs. It's North Alabama Mortgage. Whether it's a refi or whether or not you're looking to buy new, you want to get pre-approved at North Alabama Mortgage so that you can get out there, look at what you want to buy, and make your offer. And your offer is that much closer to being accepted because you've already been pre-approved with North Alabama Mortgage. You can tell them, look, I'll close this afternoon. I'm pre-approved. All right? Not pre-qualified, pre-approved. And that's a big thing. Get a home valuation done by North Alabama Mortgage. Find out how much value you have in your property. okay? And they can do that for you as well. If you're thinking about refining as well, or, maybe you want to know, well, yeah, rates are a little bit higher than they were, but on the other hand, I got a lot of money in my house. How much? Well, have them do the home valuation. Brian Hamaker and his team standing by to help you out at North Alabama Mortgage. By the way, Tennessee and Florida, as well as Alabama. All right, Grizz, it's time. Do you have yours in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you have it in front of you. Okay, so it's time. I'm feeling like there should be some sort of fanfare or something, and I don't know what kind of fanfare we should have.
Because I'm all about that bass.
No, that's not good fanfare. It's like we've got this. Probably not. We got to have fanfare for. Oh man, I can't wait! It's so close. It's right around the corner. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Did you hear that the WWE is trying to get gambling on the WWE legalized?
What?
I mean, are we ready for that? We can't bet on the WWE.
It's
That's
already
a true
staged.
story.
It's already. I mean, are we getting to the point where we're just like talking about the script again?
And here's the thing. Here is their rationale. You ready for this? Did you know that you can legally bet on the Academy Awards, on the Oscars, and the results are already known because that the accounting firm of Deloitte & Touche or whatever they are, they have the results. So what the WWE is saying is that we can keep the result of the matches under lock and key. The very, 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 very few people would know, and so that there could be betting on. You can't have betting on the WWE.
People still know
obviously they wouldn't be able to bet, the ones that know, but it would be like nobody associated with the company could bet. But it would somehow, some way, something would get out. Plus, you're betting on. It's like betting on who the bad guy's going to be on Law and Order. You know what I mean? Or who did it? You can't bet on that. You can't bet on WWE. We don't want to bet on professional wrestling. I mean, come on. We do want to bet on these brackets, though, okay? So I'll tell you what, Grizz. Let's start in the East, okay? So we'll start in the East bracket here, and we're going to go down through every single matchup. So we're going to give you winners in every single game. So here are my first-round winners in the East. I got Purdue, all right? I got Memphis beating FAU. I got Duke beating Oral. Tennessee over Louisiana. Kentucky over Providence. Kansas State over Montana State, USC in a mild upset over Michigan State, and Marquette over Vermont. What do you got?
All right. I've pretty much, it's chalk. So Purdue, Memphis, Duke, Tennessee. I have Providence upsetting Kentucky.
Ooh, okay.
I have Kansas State beating Montana State, and I have USC upsetting Michigan State. And then I have Marquette upsetting or beating Vermont.
Okay. All right. So we're not too far off the beaten path there. All right. I have Purdue beating Memphis, Duke over Tennessee. Love that game. I have Kentucky beating Kansas State, and Marquette beating USC to get to the Sweet 16. What do you got there?
So everything's the same except for Kansas State beats Providence.
Kansas State beats Providence. Okay, all right. And the other ones are the same.
Yeah, they're all the same.
I have in the Elite Eight, I have Duke beating Kentucky, Duke to the Final Four.
I have Duke beating Purdue.
So we have Duke. Wait a minute. That was in the Sweet 16. Duke and Purdue playing the Sweet 16.
No, I thought I already gave you everything.
No, you said Purdue. I had Purdue over
Memphis.
That's why I got to do the whole thing. Purdue over Memphis, Duke over Tennessee.
Yep.
Kentucky over
Kansas State over Providence.
Kansas State, and Marquette over USC.
Marquette over
USC. So I have Duke over Purdue and Kentucky over Marquette.
Yeah, Duke over Purdue. Or I got Duke over Purdue, and then I've got Marquette over Kansas State.
All right, and then I have Duke over Kentucky, Duke to the Final Four.
Duke over Marquette.
All right, so you got Duke to the Final Four.
Correct.
All right, so we're the same there.
Correct.
All right, in the Midwest, go to Midwest.
All right.
Okay. I got Houston over Northern Kentucky. I got Iowa to beat Auburn, Miami over Drake, Indiana over K-State, Pittsburgh to upset Iowa State, Xavier over Kennesaw State, Texas A&M over Penn State, and Texas over Colgate.
Houston over Northern Kentucky, Auburn over Iowa, Miami beats Drake, Indiana over Kent State, Iowa State beats Pittsburgh, Xavier beats Kennesaw State, Texas A&M beats Penn State, and Texas A&M beats Colgate. Or Texas beats
Texas
Colgate.
A&M over Penn State, huh? Okay. All right, so in the second round, I have Houston over Iowa, Miami over Indiana. I got Xavier beating Pitt, and I got Texas knocking off Texas A&M.
Houston over Auburn, Indiana upsets Miami. Or I'm sorry, it's 4-8. I'm sorry, Indiana beats Miami. Sorry, I can't read this far. My eyes are dilated.
It's a 4-5.
Yeah. Xavier beats Iowa State. And Texas beat Texas A&M.
All right, so that leaves Houston over Miami and Texas over Xavier. What do you got?
Yeah, Houston over Indiana and Xavier beats Texas.
Wow, so you got Xavier to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Okay, I got Houston beating Texas, Houston to the Final Four.
Xavier upsets Houston.
Whoa!
Xavier to the Final Four.
So Xavier to the Final Four out of the Midwest. Okay. All right, in the West. I have Kansas over Howard, Arkansas over Illinois, VCU with the upset over St. Mary's. I've got UConn over Iona, TCU over whoever comes out of that game tonight. I've got Gonzaga over Grand Canyon. I got Boise State upsetting Northwestern, and UCLA over UNC Asheville.
Yep. Kansas beats Howard. Arkansas beats Illinois. St. Mary's beats VCU. UConn beats Iona. TCU beats the game tonight. Gonzaga beats Grand Canyon. And Boise State upsets Northwestern. And then UCLA beats UNC Asheville.
All right, I got Kansas over Arkansas. VCU gets beat by UConn. I've got Gonzaga over TCU and UCLA over Boise State.
Kansas beats Arkansas. UConn beats St. Mary's. Gonzaga beats TCU, and UCLA beats Boise State.
Now I got two upsets in the Elite Eight. I got UConn over Kansas, and I've got Gonzaga over UCLA.
Kansas beats UConn, and Gonzaga beats UCLA.
And I got the Huskies beating Gonzaga, UConn to the Final Four.
I got the Jayhawks meeting Xavier in the Final Four, beating Gonzaga.
Oh, beating Gonzaga.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. In the South, all right, I got Alabama over Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. I got a beautiful island. I got West Virginia over number 8 Maryland. I got San Diego State over Charleston, Virginia over Furman, Creighton over NC State, Baylor over UCSB. I've got Missouri beating Utah State and Arizona over Princeton.
Alabama beats Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. West Virginia beats Maryland. San Diego State beats Charleston. Virginia beats Furman. NC State upsets Creighton. Baylor beats UCSB. Missouri beats Utah State. And Arizona beats Princeton.
I got Alabama over West Virginia. I've got Virginia over San Diego State. I got Baylor over Creighton and Missouri over Arizona in an upset.
Alabama over West Virginia. Virginia beats San Diego State. Baylor beats NC State. Arizona beats Missouri.
I got Alabama over Virginia and Baylor over Missouri.
Alabama beats Virginia. Arizona beats Baylor.
And I got Alabama over Baylor. Alabama to the Final Four.
Alabama over Arizona. Alabama to the Final Four.
All right. I got Alabama over Duke.
Same.
I have got Houston over UConn.
Xavier over Kansas.
So you got Alabama and Xavier in the final.
Correct.
I have Alabama Houston in the final. And I have Alabama winning it all.
What's your score?
84-78.
Wow. Pretty close. Alabama Xavier 83-78.
83
Hey, I'm not even making
Wow.
this up. Yeah, this is all.
Wow.
I've since day one. I didn't
So you
change
got
it.
Alabama over Xavier. I
Yeah.
got Alabama over Houston.
Yeah.
I let my emotions get in the way because I kind of like Houston and I kind of like UConn. But if I come down to that, and I've got my and I think Duke can. I think Duke is a little bit scary. But I couldn't pick against the Tide. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. It'd be like picking against Syracuse. I could not do it. And in the end, I could not do it. Not as a number one overall. So, yes, my bet with Drew is still on. All right. I don't know what Drew's bracket is. I think we'll get to see Drew's bracket after the tournament goes live. All right. You can still get into our 97.7 ESPN The Zone bracket challenge presented by Talent Heating and Air for a chance to win a 1-year family membership to Cherokee Ridge. Okay. My bet with Drew is that whichever one of us wins that gets to choose what the loser would wear a jersey that they will have to wear at a remote for the entire 2 hours of the remote.
I like it.
That's the way that works. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back and wrap it up next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
What does it say here? Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. You know what? I'm sorry. I think it should be around. What are you signaling? Me to stop talking? Oh, all right. I'll stop talking. No, just had to tell me. That's all you had
Get
to do.
round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
With over 100 F-150s to choose from and available financing as low as 0%, now is the perfect time to put one in your driveway. It's Truck Month at Woody Anderson Ford. Hi, Bobby White back again, inviting you to come on in for the best selection of F-150s we've had in a while. And if you find one that you like, there is no payment for 90 days. Also, during Truck Month, not only do you get 0% financing for up to 36 months, but we've also got 2.9% financing for 5 years on remaining 22 models with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends April 4th. And don't forget, we make it really easy for you to trade in and trade up on a Ford Blue Advantage Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned vehicle. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and you take it home with a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Hurry on in for Truck Month. 0% financing, no payments for 90 days, and over 100 F-150s to choose from.
If you're looking for a place where you can find your rhythm and feed your rhythm, then Rhythm on Monroe might be your happy place. Rhythm blends great drinks, cuisine, and live rhythms from local artists throughout the week. Like and follow our Facebook page to see specials in the weekly live entertainment schedule by local entertainers, such as Josh Allison, Preston Watts, Mike Roberts, Connor McMurray, Noel Webster, Ingrid Marie, and others. Open daily at 4 with brunch served on Saturdays and Sundays. Reservations available at rhythmonmonroe.com. Parking at the Von Braun Center is discounted when you provide your receipt at Rhythm on Monroe.
From the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Atlanta Braves, we are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the show is brought to you by TOC, Orthopedic Center. They've got a specialist for whatever ails you. They have got a specialist, an orthopedic specialist for you, no matter what. If it's neck, if it is spine, if it is shoulder, knee, ankle, foot, they got specialists for all of that at TOC, and they've been taking care of the Tennessee Valley for well over 20 years, and they're there for almost every school in the Tennessee Valley, and don't forget Alabama A&M and Huntsville Havoc as well, all taken care of by the fine folks at TOC. So when that need arises, that's where you need to be. All right, now coming up tomorrow, we're going to have a short show for you. We got about 40 minutes or so tomorrow. We are going to have Lee. We had Lee Sterling today. You want to check that out on the podcast version of things, and look on Twitter for the link to all of that stuff. Tomorrow, Steve Merrill from Pro Sports Info will join us in the first 15 minutes of the show, and we'll talk to him and get his take on the tournament as well. Then we're going to turn it over to the Alabama Crimson Tide Radio Network as the Tide get ready to start this tournament off against Texas A&M Corpus Christi down in Birmingham. And of course, we'll have complete coverage of that for you here on our air. So coming up next, it's the Paul Feinbaum Show. And then it's The Drive with Wes and... Is Steve back? Wes and Steve? Yeah. It's all coming up right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
WZZN.